introduce yourself.
Hello, I am Jaslyn Fort.
All right. And what type of dealership did you go to, Jaslyn?
I went to a fairly large used car dealership. And I just want to start by saying it was one of the worst experiences of my life.
All right.
I ran into
Can't wait.
his name was Joe without an E. It was so horrible. I went in at like 7 o'clock and I took my dad's car, which is a bigger car. I parked and I was walking around for like 3 or 4 minutes. And nobody came outside until I walked up to a car and like looked in the window. Then this old dude came running out of the office, showroom, whatever you want to call it. And he was like, "You here to see Eric?" "Who is Eric?" He was like, "Oh, because he be having young girls come by all the time, so I thought she was here to see Eric."
Wow.
"Oh, well, how can I help you?" And I just kind of looked at the car sign. And I was like, "Well, my dad, I want a car, and my dad's going to buy it. And he told me to come pick out a car."
Right.
And he was like, "Well, whose car are you in now?" And I said, "I'm in my dad's car." He was like, "Where's your dad?" I was like, "At home. He sent me to pick out one." He was like, "Oh, okay. Well, are you looking to buy today?" And I said, "No, maybe, a week or two." So after that, like, everything just disappeared because I wasn't there to buy that day.
Right.
He didn't introduce himself. He didn't give me a card. He didn't ask me what kind of car I was looking at. And he was like, "Oh, well, your dad drives a big truck. He was like, we have some smaller cars over here. Something smaller for you to drive. It ain't got that much, it got a good gas mileage on it, but, it's smaller or whatever." And I was like, "Well, I like bigger cars. I would prefer a truck, if you could show me one." And he was like, "Well, how much are you looking to spend?" And I was like, "Well, I'm daddy's baby. He gonna buy me what I want." And he was like, "Oh, okay." So he took me to the biggest car on the lot, which was like this Escalade. And I was like, "Okay, well, that's a little bit too much. I'm not really looking for all of this." I was like, "I'm not looking for a car to have forever. Just, something to have." And he was like...
So he's showing you cars without a proper interview?
Yes.
Okay.
He showed me a couple of other cars that were bigger, like Escalades. He showed me like a Suburban. And I was like, "Well, do you have anything that's like an Explorer size?" And he was like, "Yeah." He showed me another one. And I was like, "Okay, well, I'm not really feeling these cars." So he was like, "Okay, well, you can just take a walk around the lot, and if you like anything, then just come in and let me know, and I can definitely help you." And he walked off and left me outside in the heat. So I was like, "Okay, I'm going to give him a second try." So I went inside, and there was no females in the building, which kind of scared me a little bit because I'm a little child. The car dealership with all these old dudes.
Right.
And nobody was sitting at the reception desk. I stood at the reception desk for like 3 minutes.
Did you meet Eric?
No. I didn't even meet Eric. And he came, he was like, "Well, did you find anything you like?" And I was like, "Well, I found this pickup truck." I was like, "It's kind of nice." And he was like, "Pickup truck?" He was like, "That's for a working man." And I was like, "Okay, well," I was like, "That's fine." I was like, "Well, you have a business card so I can come back?" And he was like, "Oh, we just ran out of business card."
Wow.
He got a sticky note and wrote his phone number on it and his name and gave it to me. I was like, "Okay, we
Did he
opened at 9.
ask you for your information? Like,
He didn't ask me for anything. No, he did. He asked to see my license when he was showing me cars because he didn't think I was old enough to have a license.
Wow.
He asked me for my license. He asked me did I have insurance, and I said no because I don't have a car. And he was just like, "Well, you driving around in your daddy car with no insurance? That's not safe." It was just.
So never asked you for a phone number, the address?
No, he asked me for anything.
So he had no intention of following up with you,
No.
even though you mentioned you're going to be buying something the next week to week and a half. Or perhaps if your daddy's little girl, you find the exact car you want to own, you'll probably be back later that afternoon or the next day because you'll get what you want, right?
Yeah.
All right. So what would you have done differently?
Everything.
Yeah.
I would have welcomed him, greeted them, did a personal interview out of the heat because it was steaming hot, and I had on a suit. and I was burning up. I was trying to give him, family stuff, try to give him a little tip or two that I'm high. He ain't offer me no water, no nothing. So, I mean, just take care of the customer and listen to them.
Yep. So do you understand why I had you do the homework assignment now?
Yes.
And based upon your training so far, you have a lot more confidence that up against that guy, he don't stand a chance.
Yes.
All right, round of applause.